Are you a member of the LGL family? If not, you should be. Listen, I love my community. My community is quite amazing. And today, this video is dedicated to Matt Haas, also known as Awesome Fun Things, Awesome Wood Things, Awesome Piano, and I forgot, he has like 80 channels. But I always tell you guys, if you come for a good question in the comments, I will make a video answering that comment. And today I want to cover two things. I need to answer Matt's question, but let me start by saying I am sorry I have lied to you. Not intentionally, but I lied to you. So stick around so I can explain to you why I feel that is, and let's get this straight. So Matt's question was based off of a video I did yesterday where I talked about you kind of need to learn what you're doing, but while you're learning it, you need to also do it. Because what happens is people do the study. They don't actually put things into practicality. And then when they're ready to do it, they're kind of lost again. So it's easy to, what do you call it? Lose the plot, or I don't know, get stuck in quicksand or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So Matt asked the question. It's a little complicated, but he basically said, what are the best practices to set all of these and how to get consistent levels between my videos and the final edit, and consistent with most others across YouTube? Let me read that again. It says, what are the best practices to set all of these and get consistent levels between my videos and the final edit, and what's consistent with most videos across YouTube? And I want to say, Matt, thank you for the question. But maybe, buddy, maybe we're asking the wrong question. And again, I'll get to the part where I said I lied to you. So I'm sorry, guys, you got to hang in and listen to this. So my first question back to Matt and anybody else who's watching is, why do they have to be consistent? Your words. Now, when we say consistency, we mean consistency with showing up, consistency with creating, and consistency with being where your audience expects you to be when they expect you to be there. I, for one, don't think there should be a consistency in your videos, if you will. Now, don't get this twisted. Don't go all crazy willy-nilly, which in my personal opinion is a little bit of the problem. But let me answer it this way. I'm going to speak to Matt, but any of you guys can hear me. You can substitute the word Notion for anything else that you know and love. I know Matt is a big lover of Notion, so I use this. Matt, my guess, just going together, you've been a pretty avid Notion user for 3.5 to 4 years, okay? So what would happen if Notion was consistent for the last 4 years? They'd still be where they were. And they've grown a lot. They've gotten so much better. They've added speed, flexibility, tools like calendar, and better databasing and formulas. And yeah, they're not trying to be consistent. They're trying to constantly improve. Right? What if instead of worrying about trying to have a consistency across the videos, we just tried to get that 1% better? Now, I could be reading your question wrong, but this is what come to mind when you say it. So if there is that, because you said consistent with most other videos on YouTube. So my next question is, consistent with most what? Like what other videos on YouTube? I wouldn't say that the biggest channels have a consistency across their videos. There's a style, that's fine. And you also need to know that even the biggest channels will generate a dud. Apple just generated a dud. You know what I mean? They're one of the most creative companies in the planet. It just happens. You shoot a dud, you shoot again. You know, I saw a really incredible reel the other day, and I forgot who the other player was because, you know, I'm not a Lakers fan. But he went to go pull up a three. He choked. He threw it to LeBron. LeBron caught the ball, looked at him like, nuh-uh, threw it right back at him and said, shoot it. And so he stepped to the side, he shot it, he drains the 3. It's easy to think you're not doing the right thing and then look to somebody else who you think is better at it and kind of just watch them. But the only way for you to get better at it is to actually take that shot. We're almost to the part where I said I lied to you, because this is getting closer. So again, consistent to most what on the other channels. Now, let me talk to you about the part where I said I lied to you. We as YouTube coaches often say, don't compare yourself to other channels and feel bad about it. And I think what you guys hear, I think what we say, I won't even blame it on anybody but us. I think what we say, myself included, is don't compare yourself to other channels, but that's technically wrong. I think I haven't said the sentence fully. It is human and it is natural to compare yourself to others. But in my famous Viktor Frankl talk, the freedom lies between the stimulus and the response. So the reality is, what do you do with that comparison? Right? When you look at another channel and you're thinking that their videos are consistent, or you're thinking I'm just trying to go off of your words, homie. If you think their videos are consistent, or you think their videos are better, or you think their videos are gaining traction, instead of feeling lower, how about feeling, well, we know that it's possible. See, the reason why we get in a plane now to fly from Honolulu to Massachusetts is because we know that planes can fly. But if I were to plan this trip at Kitty Hawk a week before we saw the plane go through, we'd have been like, you can't fly from one state to the next. And then Orville and Wilbur was like, hold my beer, or sarsaparilla, it's old school. And now, because we know that it is possible to fly, we have no problem booking a ticket. You see what I mean? That's that confidence thing, right? The confidence is you trust that thing full of aluminum and bolts and windows and horrible food and that idiot who keeps kicking your chair, you know that thing can use the Bernoulli effect and get off the ground and legit travel 5,085 miles from Honolulu Airport to Boston Logan International. So maybe when you see a comparison, you say to yourself, if it happens for them, it's possible for me. Comparison and jealousy, this is Mel Robbins, she said this, comparison and jealousy is basically your blocked desires and dreams. So if you desire to have a huge channel because you want to make everyone happy, which I know your personality is kind of sort of like that, and you feel like it's not happening fast enough for you, that kicks in the comparison, aka maybe the jealousy, aka make you feel some type of way. But the reality of it is if you know that an Airbus 330 can fly 5,085 miles and move my butt across the country, you have no problem booking a flight. So if you know somebody else can create a channel like that looks like how you kind of want it to be, you know that it's possible. You know that learning how to play the piano at the age of 49 is possible. You know that you can cut pieces of plywood or hardwood into shapes and sign and fun-loving scientific things, science fiction things, is possible. So you do those ad nauseum with no fear. Yeah, that's it. I mean, literally, that's it. Now, if I had to put a pinpoint on what's possibly making it much harder for you, is you're doing the one thing that we tell everybody not to do, and that's try to run multiple channels. But then some other person told you that, well, because you're doing this thing, you can't put this other stuff on your wood channel because it's not related. And so I know what it feels like to be a Swiss Army knife, or I call it a Swiss Army nerd, and wanting to do all the myriad things on the same channel, and how you feel that might affect the channel. I don't think so. I think your personality is fine, and you can do it off of a personality channel. You just have to let the people on the wood channel know that in the morning when you do the stream, I'm just being me, I'm being goofy, I'm dialing in. But taking a channel of size, what is it, close to 10K, and then going and trying to make another channel from scratch because you're afraid to alienate to 10K, you just shrink your audience back from 10K to 0. And then start feeling the feels of what it feels like to be at 0 again, which is fine if you're willing to deal with it. But then your comment kind of makes it seem like you're not. So you got to make your mind. Like, and again, I'm not picking. I just want you to know you got to make up your mind. Decide today, what does success look like for you? And are you willing to be at the sub 1,000 channel and build it up to a 10,000 channel a little bit at a time? Or should maybe we cancel a couple of these 5 channels and get it down to like maybe 2? If you're going to be a not niche person, just go all in on not niche on one channel. It's too difficult to try to manage it across a bunch. I don't think there's a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I was telling you, I don't think there's a lot of difference between, say, the wood channel and the fun things channel. The piano thing is cool. But it seems like you're doing that for fun, not trying to grow that. Yeah, I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form. I'm happy to jump on a call with you and walk through this. But I honestly think, first of all, come to the conclusion of what you think success looks like for you and live with that. And second of all, accept the comparison exists, but just learn how to deal with it when you get one. When I see one of my homies doing really well, it probably bothers me more than when I see a stranger doing it, because I know that they don't have any magic sauce. I know that they don't have a big budget. I know they don't have a fancy studio, and I know they have more skills than me because most of my friends are on the same level or not as, like broadcast, production centric. But instead of me getting frustrated by that, I look at it as it's a reminder for me that it is possible. So it's possible. That's all you need to know, is it's possible. That was a deep one, Matt. You made me go deep, fam. I love you for it. I really appreciate the question. And you know what I'm going to say, people? I don't know who need to hear that besides Matt, but I don't care if it's only for one person. I'm going to make that video because I hope that my brother can get something out. Matt is a dear human being. He is absolutely one of the best in the LGL family, and I'm here to support the family. Now, all of my other YouTube brethren would tell me you shouldn't make a video like that because it's not good for your channel. I don't care. This video is for Matt and anybody else who needed to hear what I just said. I might even make a whole separate video about why I lied to you about the comparison, because maybe that one does need to stand by itself. We'll save it for like a month or two. If it comes back in a month or two, it'll be a reminder. Okay? But listen, family, right now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence.